We all love conversations. We have innumerable conversations with many people in the course of the day. The topics vary. They range from the weather to who's going to win the football match to what's happening in the daily news. We talk about a lot of things. There are different flavors to conversations if you observe closely. Some of them are aggressive, some are calm, some are meaningful, some are pointless. What makes a good conversation? The Indian tradition classifies conversations into four types based on the nature of the people involved as well as the quality of the conversation. We can look at each one of these by examples from our own personal lives. Do you remember the time when you were a child and you were curious about everything in the world? You would ask innumerable questions to your parents and they would patiently explain to you. Based on what you understand, you would ask further questions again, and this process would continue sometimes for the whole day. As we grow up, we have similar conversations with people we look up to. It could be teachers, it could be mentors, and so on. Conversations like these are called Samvaad. They are characterized by the fact that there is a teacher and learner relationship. The teacher does not impose his or her opinion upon us, but rather there is space to question, inquire, and think and reflect. Samvaad is characterized by the spirit of learning and the equation of the teacher and the thought. We have had numerous long conversations with friends and acquaintances. We may not agree on many things, but we are willing to listen to the other person and maybe accept it if it makes sense to us. The spirit is that of friendliness and of learning. Conversations like these are called Vaad. They clear miscommunications and helps us both understand the truth a little better. There are times when we are in all-out debating mode. We are convinced that we are right and the other person is wrong. The underlying idea is to prove how correct we are and to win. Sometimes our reputation may be at stake. This can make us give unreasonable responses, twist what the other person says, etc. Conversations of this type are called Jalpa. Finally, there are conversations where we don't even care about the stand that we take. We just want to prove the other person wrong. We refute whatever the other person says. For this, we use every weapon that we can. We misrepresent what they said, we call them names, and so on. Conversations of this type are called Vidhanda. Summarizing, there are four types of conversations. Samvaad, a conversation between the teacher and the thought. Vaad, a conversation between equals where we try to understand the truth a little better. Jalpa, a conversation where we try to prove what we think is right. And Vidhanda, a conversation where we only care about proving the other person wrong. We have no stance of our own. This gives us a framework to understand what kind of conversations we are having. Generally, when we are with somebody who has more expertise than us, Samvada, the attitude of a teacher and a taught, helps us. In conversations with equals, we can adopt the attitude of Vada, where we try to learn and understand the truth a little better. Jalpa, which is confronting the other person with your view, is to be avoided because it does not serve much point. And Vitanda, which is name calling and abusing and proving the other person wrong, is to be avoided at all costs. Using Vitanda too often reduces our credibility and people don't take us very seriously. Therefore, before entering into a conversation, it helps to reflect for a minute on what we want to gain from the conversation, who's the person we are speaking to, and choose an appropriate mode of conversation. During the conversation, no matter what the provocation is, you don't deviate from it. This makes for a meaningful conversation. Thank you.